Hello, kindred spirits. I interrupt my scheduled discussion of the inner child to discuss war. War is breaking out all over and it's distressing. Now, from my wider realities perspective, what we see with our physical eyes is a reflection of what is going on within our being, in our consciousness. At every level of consciousness, usually the deeper levels of consciousness, the emotional and the spiritual. And I know from my work as a Sunan story healer that in most people, the four parts of the whole self, the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional parts of our being, are not exactly within harmony of each other. In other words, they're bickering and fighting and squabbling. And every time I go within to a client's heart chakra, those parts of self, which ideally balance in the heart chakra and complement and support each other, are not there, or they're fighting, or they're resenting the fact that the other part of self isn't like them. And funny thing about it, you know, all that tribalism we have, where if you're a different race or a different creed or a different religion, you are suspect. Well, where do you think that originates? It originates from within you. In other words, the war, outer war that you see with your physical eyes simply shows you what's going on within your being. Now, of course, most people are not consciously aware of this, but it's happening. And this dis-ease within self is the origin of physical disease, and it is the origin of physical conflict, otherwise known as war and combat. Well, we all know that outer war and combat are highly destructive and terrifying, and they wreck your spirit. But that inner conflict is just as destructive, just as terrifying, and just as self-sabotaging. So we all say we want peace. And there's an old saying about let peace begin with me. Well, I'd like to modify that saying and say, let peace begin within me. And I think one of the overlooked things that we can do to end outer combat in our world is to go within and finally bring a resolution and a harmony and a balance between all four parts of who we really are. Without all of us finding that balance, the outer world will always reflect some sort of conflict. So, if you want peace, let it begin within you and within me. So I will return to my schedule next time. Until then, vaya con Dios.